Hello everybody, I'm Brett and welcome to Nightwood Guns. When I was 13 years old, I finally convinced my dad to let me shoot his Ruger Red Hawk 44 Magnum. I'll never forget the smell of the powder, the thunder of the muzzle blast, uncontainable by the indoor range, and the rush of adrenaline that electrified my veins after touching off the first round. 13-year-old me was awestruck to wield that much raw power in my hands. I may as well have been granted a superpower. Up until then, I had always preferred the hip autoloaders, much like Riggs in Lethal Weapon, but the rush of taming a handheld explosion is something that lingered, tempting me to ask my dad to bring his 44 Magnum along to every range trip. Answering my call for the most fun handgun ever made, Magnum Research has entered the game. The Desert Eagle is quite possibly the most famous handgun in media, and definitely the most notorious of all time. Seeing it on your TV is one thing, but lifting this handgun in reality is like being handed Excalibur by God himself. Solidly built and weighty in the hand, the Desert Eagle dares you to shoot it. Loading the magazine is like loading missiles, one warhead at a time, and closing the slide with its precise lockup feels like preparing to launch a potent payload of destruction with staggering precision. In movies, the Desert Eagle is usually just another handgun, and typically one wielded by villains due to its intimidating appearance. Though it can fit nicely in the hands of a big enough or evil enough hero. But Hollywood typically fails to capture the horsepower that the Desert Eagle puts out. The ammunition I'm firing today is Underwood Ammo 50 Action Express with a 300 grain bonded jacketed hollow point, pushing out over 1,600 foot-pounds of muzzle energy, launching the 50 caliber projectile at nearly 1,600 feet per second. For an autoloader, this is truly astounding. In movies, its power has been alluded to in Snatch, along with the Boondock Saints. The badassness of the gun has been showcased in films such as The Matrix and Deadpool. But the only film off the top of my head that actually captures the power of the Desert Eagle is Eraser. Arnold actually kills an alligator with the Desert Eagle, which, honestly, is not a bad choice for gator repellent.
Your luggage.
The only other film that did the Desert Eagle justice was Kill Bill Volume 1, but it was during the anime segment, so I'm not sure if that completely counts. Partial points to Tarantino. Hundreds of other films and shows, however, treat the Desert Eagle like a large and imposing 9mm. But there is one entertainment industry that typically shows off this mythical handgun's prowess in the damage department: the video game industry. From Counter-Strike, to Call of Duty, Tomb Raider, to Uncharted, Far Cry, to Hitman, Left 4 Dead 2, to Killing Floor 2, Max Payne, to Rainbow Six, not the shitty one, the good ones, and of course, Metal Gear Solid.
Where'd you get that Desert Eagle?
I found it in the armory. It's a 50 caliber Action Express. There was a SOCOM pistol too, but I chose this.
So I got a leftover, huh?
It even got a nod in a game like Mass Effect 3 that doesn't even feature conventional handguns of today. The video game industry treats the Desert Eagle like the muscle car of semi-auto handguns that it is. But in video games, it has the benefit of offering a new sheen of practicality without its real-life punishing recoil and encumbering weight. There is one game series, however, that impressively utilizes the Desert Eagle in a practical way, and it's one of the best game series of all time.
Resident Evil.
It makes a lot of sense to have a magazine-fed 50 caliber handgun when these bastards are roaming the streets. It's just really cool to see the Desert Eagle used in a practical way instead of a stylistic one. In fact, it might be the only time it's ever been done. That being said, fiction is probably the only realm of existence where the Desert Eagle has any practicality. Because of that, it has been relegated to the status of meme gun among gun owners. Normally, that would make me a bit sad since it is such a cool gun that is extremely well built. But you know what? It was always a meme gun. I mean, why did Magnum Research make the Desert Eagle? Because they could, and because they thought it would sell. Now, reliability is a topic frequently brought up in conversations about Desert Eagles. My experience? I had a failure to return to battery that, after inspection, I was able to isolate to a single bad magazine. Other than that, I put a remaining 59 rounds through this Desert Eagle with flawless reliability. As long as you have a decent grip on it, it will cycle the way it should. And there's even quite a bit of leeway before limp wristing becomes an issue. Snapping back to reality, Practically speaking, the Desert Eagle works quite well as a hunting handgun with its single-action trigger and its top rail. Of course, it could serve as a bear, moose, or even airplane defense gun if you don't mind the weight, and it makes a great collectible showpiece. But outside of that, the only practical use for it is just having fun shooting it. And if you're someone who enjoys loud music, revving big engines, and blowing shit up, this is the most fun you can have shooting a handgun. I mean, shooting this thing from retention was like getting kicked in the face by the Human Torch. And I'm not exaggerating. I thought this shit was gonna make my nose bleed. Seeing that the gun sells incredibly well, I'm sure for some people the fun is imagining they're an agent from the Matrix. For others, it's the attention they get from showing it off. Plenty of people enjoy having it as a status symbol or a culture gun, and many others just want one in their collection. But for me, when I touch off a 50 Action Express round from the Desert Eagle, I'm 13 years old again, shooting my dad's Ruger Red Hawk for the first time. Except this time, it has the moving parts, flying brass, and capacity of a semi-auto that I love so much. As far as Magnum handguns go, the Desert Eagle is one of a kind. Its iconic appearance, cultural impact, and celebrity-like status is a testament to the genius of its design. Not necessarily as a practical handgun, but a marketable one. Its quality and uniqueness make it truly deserving of its place in the Hall of Fame as one of the most famous firearms of all time. And while I may not shoot it often, it will remain in my safe and at my side until Umbrella lets the T-Virus loose and I have to bug out of Raccoon City through hordes of hulking monstrosities. But until then, be sure to check out the link in the description below to see the books that I've written. They are super awesome. If you haven't read them yet, you're definitely missing out, and it's the only way currently to support my channel since I have been completely demonetized. Be sure to like and comment on this video, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. It was great to see you again, everyone. I'm Brett, and this was Nightwood Guns. Nightwood out.